Hi everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Terry Nazon 1. Or if you're viewing this from my website, welcome back. So you can find your free natal birth chart before you even get started on my website at www.terrynazon.com. And of course you'll need to have one just like this. Of course this is the new moon's chart, not yours. But you need to get your chart so you know where all of the planets this week fall in conjunct with your natal birth chart. Why? Because this week could be quite hectic. It's not going to be like last week where we ended the week with some beautiful aspects from the planet Venus, along with the fixed star Regulus, and they were all bunched up. Mars conjoined the planet Mercury, and of course Venus sextile Jupiter, and then she went on to trine the planet Uranus. Those are really good vibes, aren't they? And so no doubt they've got you feeling good, feeling better, and of course maybe even feeling a little invigorated or uplifted in some way. These are great spiritual planets because anytime we get the planets in the fire signs, well, we get uplifted spiritually, and that's a good thing. We think more positively. So we don't always think about thinking positively or having lucky things happen to us as spiritual, but anything that makes you more enthusiastic, fires you up, well, we call it in a spiritual thing. So the fire planets are associated with spiritual things, and that's a good thing because we're going to need it. This week is a whole different ball game. We've got the new moon coming up in the sign of Virgo, and of course it's going to be at 27 degrees Virgo. This is a very late degree, and I'm wondering if this doesn't have something to do with something that could happen, well, right around Thanksgiving, when the planet Saturn is also going to be at 27 degrees Sagittarius. So when we get all these planets in the mutable sign, like we got a bunch of planets in the sign of Virgo, we've got Neptune in the sign of Pisces, we've got Saturn in the sign of Sagittarius, things get hectic, things get crazy. You have to really be adaptable. You have to like jump over logs. You have to go around in traffic. You have to be ready for anything, like we were in Florida for the hurricane and like they were in Houston for the floods. So you have to be prepared, you have to be organized, and you have to just be ready to be on the fly and just move quick. So I hope that you learned your lesson, as so many people did this week and last week, about these hurricanes, about preparedness, being ready, have water, have supplies. And in your own life, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you're going to need to be ready for anything. So go ahead, stock up a little bit, organize, throw out the things you don't need, and just get ready for change. This week, we have a good week coming up, kind of, as long as you're on your toes. And it's essential that, like I said when I started this, that you check out your natal birth chart, because we do have some touch and go aspects coming up. Even though the planet Venus was in these beautiful aspects, we can't rest, because that was just 1 or 2 days of recovery, of feeling better. So now we have Venus, she's going to enter the sign of Virgo, picky Virgo. And that means that in love, in romance, you may find that you're more picky than usual, that you know, you don't want this person, you don't want that person. So that's going to be in the month of September. Very picky. But also it favors buying clothes and looking beautiful and getting your hair done, getting your nails done, and of course going to the salon and just getting prepped, so to speak, for when Venus moves in the sign of Libra, and then you're not so picky. That'll be a good thing. So this week, of course, like I said, we have the new moon. Each new moon is a new cycle, a new beginning. This new moon is in the sign of Virgo. This suggests that we're going to have a new cycle, a new beginning with relation to work, daily routine, being adaptable, maybe some health issues, maybe getting back to the gym, maybe getting back to a normal routine, or having your routine disrupted or changed in some ways. Like, you know, it's like you used to go to work at 8 to 5 and now you're going to go to work 3 to 11. It's a time change. It can mean that your routine is changing. So, and that could just be the kids going back to school, or you taking up a class, or going to the gym. Your routine changes. And so, and this will be right through about November, which kind of coincides with the school cycle, doesn't it? It really does. So this week also, the sun in Virgo is going to in conjunct the planet Uranus, and we really got to watch that one. That could be accidents, that could be unforeseen incidents that really topple your daily routine. It can interfere with transportation. So what that means is that there can be a sudden, unexpected, like, accident in front of you that makes you late for work, or makes you have to miss work altogether. You could have something happen, like if you're taking public transportation, be extra vigilant on that day that no suspicious characters are around, or nobody's leaving a briefcase next to you, for goodness sake. So we have to be extra careful with that one, because the planet Uranus is very explosive, packs a nasty punch when he's retrograde in the sign of Aries, a fire sign that rules, boom, explosions, fires, electricity, outages, and things like that. And again, ruling sudden, unexpected changes. We want to watch that one. We also are going to have Mercury in Virgo trining Pluto and Capricorn. And so this kind of makes people come together, work things out just for the greater good, security, and just to make everything run better. It's like you and your neighbors getting together after the hurricane and getting rid of the debris that's clogging the road so you all can go to work. That sounds familiar. So it's that kind of thing, working together so we can get back to our routine. We have that this week, so lots of help, lots of good fortune. If you're looking for a job, I can't think of a better aspect to look for a job, and especially when all these planets are in the sign of Virgo. For those of you who are looking for a job, even a part-time job, this is an excellent time not to give up and to keep at it, because there are occasions like this when Mercury trines Pluto, Mars trines Pluto, and guess what? Everything falls into place. Boom. Great. So we can't give up on anything just yet. Even though the lunar north nodes and the planet Saturn are still dancing in the skies, and we still feel all this fated things and these things that we cannot control. That's what that means. So we still have that going on. So having a routine, trying to maintain your routine and keeping your routine going really makes you feel more secure and more safe. We also have this aspect here. Mars is opposing the planet Neptune. So Mars is an aggressive planet, and in the sign of Virgo can pick fights. I don't know if you've noticed anybody like trying to pick a fight, trying to get your attention in a very nefarious or negative way, but it can happen. So we want to just avoid those and not escalate any situations where someone is acting out towards us, trying to get our attention because, well, frankly, they don't have a life or they're bored. And so they look around to see, well, who can I bother? Who can I try to entrap into saying something or coming at me or doing something? So we have to be very vigilant about that. And also, if your chart agrees, I'm saying this very carefully now, if your chart agrees, it can be like a spontaneous, you know, you meet somebody, you're going out, you meet somebody at a bar or a restaurant or a local watering hole, and the sparks just fly. You don't know the person, you don't care to know the person because there's chemistry. And so that can also be a very passionate, not well thought out connection. And so this is one of those connections where you act first and then you, oh, what's your name? Later. So we have to be careful with that one too. So we also want to be very careful that that people don't cheat. So you can find out that people are cheating or they're not being as loyal as you thought. All the games that people play, as I like to say. So we have to be a little cautious with that. It's a little nefarious, deceitful, kind of, in a playful sort of innocent sort of kind of way sometimes. It doesn't necessarily mean, you know, someone's coming for you, you know, deliberately. It's just kind of like out of boredom almost. So we want to be very careful. If you find yourself, you know, at a club or a bar and you're bored and you happen to sparks fly with somebody, you've had a bit too much to drink, well, Mars opposing Neptune. Is that work? So we also have Mercury in Virgo squaring the planet Saturn. Mercury in Virgo is about talking, it's about thinking, it's about working, it's about getting to work, transportation, it's about talking on your cell phone. So we want to be careful because when Mercury gets into an aspect with a mutable planet like the planet Saturn, well, there can be misunderstandings. There can be a I told you so. There can be a, you know, why did you say that to me? So we want to be very careful about what we sign, what we write. You know, somebody maybe not even deliberately, but unexpectedly or from an oversight, because remember Mars is opposing Neptune, so oversights. You could sign a document and then some of the wording is changed. So we have to be very careful. It doesn't mean that someone deliberately did it. It could be other people are making mistakes, and you've got to be vigilant. You've got to catch those mistakes. Well, that's all for now, and I'm going to be writing the weekly horoscopes. And good luck to all the people in Florida recovering from the hurricane. I hope and I pray that you all have your electricity back and life is back to normal.